Hello, magnificent Monday to you. If you're watching live on Facebook, that is, as opposed to YouTube somewhat later. So this week's training on magnificent health is all about arthritis. Now, arthritis is really only a problem when people are in pain with it, or it's causing some kind of disability. And hello Trina, hello Suman. Now, arthritis, I have a one-step cure for arthritis, which I will be revealing in just a minute. But first, here's some statistics about the normal way of dealing with arthritis in traditional medicine. It's basically painkillers until it's so bad you need a joint replacement. And there's nothing else that they tend to really do. People don't seem to be getting referred for physiotherapy, which is a real shame and a real problem. And if they are going to physiotherapy, it seems to be very different. Hello, Mr. Scrimshaw. I don't think a fellow chiropractor needs to be watching. Well, actually, maybe you do, because I'll throw in some nutritional stuff. And hello, Suman again, yes. So basically, arthritis, painkillers. Now, painkillers, they kill, I think, about, just ordinary pains kill about 16,000 people in Europe every year, maybe even more. And 1 in 10 adults apparently is addicted to opioid painkillers in the UK. Now, this isn't just for arthritis, it's all kinds of pain conditions. And these cause problems. They're causing deaths, they're causing dementia, they're causing liver problems, they're causing all kinds of health problems, because painkillers are toxic to the liver, to the brain, to the heart, to the kidneys, and they're not the way forwards. They also, anti-inflammatory drugs don't protect joints from injury. They actually tend to make it worse, because inflammation, acute inflammation, is part of the healing response. When you block it with a painkiller or an anti-inflammatory, you end up actually stopping very vital parts of the healing response. And when you use something like paracetamol, you actually block glutathione, which is needed for the entire of your health. This is why people with arthritis on painkillers eventually need joint replacements. And in fact, they probably need a joint replacement earlier than people who don't take the painkillers, who just put up with the pain in some way. So, what is the answer? What is my one step? Here you go, number one. Now, the only step to actually curing arthritis forever is find the cause. Actually, there's 2 steps, I lied. Find the cause, and number 2, writing backwards, fix it. Oh dear. That's it. That's all you have to do to cure arthritis. Find the cause, fix it. Now, so what are some causes of arthritis? Well, today I'm going to mainly talk about osteoarthritis, but I will just quickly say something about rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune condition. Now, a lot of people, when they do some very simple things to actually bring autoimmunity under control, they can actually find some things improving with rheumatoid arthritis. And I have patients who've been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, but they really couldn't have had proper rheumatoid arthritis, because a few simple changes to what they're doing with their diet, their lifestyle, nutrient supplements, and suddenly they're a lot better. So basically, if you have rheumatoid arthritis, try intermittent fasting, okay, and take lots of what's called Ganoderma spore powder. There's one particular company that I use. PM me about it, because I can't really mention it here. But basically, lots of Ganoderma spore powder and intermittent fasting can help a lot of people with rheumatoid arthritis, and going through proper detoxification protocols to take out the toxins that can cause the autoimmunity and the liver disruption. Now, the same thing goes with ordinary arthritis as well, because intermittent fasting can help improve your body's own natural anti-inflammatory response and bring down chronic inflammation, because it's chronic inflammation which is the killer. That's the bad thing. And medication doesn't actually bring down chronic inflammation, it actually adds to it later. because it doesn't really put the fire out. And Ganoderma helps put out the fires caused by the wrong type of what's called nitric oxide, INOS, inducible nitric oxide. And it promotes the good nitric oxide, which is the one that is good for blood pressure in the brain. So Ganoderma and intermittent fasting is a good place to start, but they're not the causes. I'm going to get back to osteoarthritis, the arthritis that a lot of people complain with. Now, basically, if your arthritis is linked to a mechanical cause, like an injury, then it makes sense that the thing you've really got to do is you've got to look at the mechanics of the joint. So if you had an injury to your knee, then you need a physiotherapist, you need a great chiropractor, you need an osteopath, you need someone that's going to look at the joints and how it's interrelated, how the foot is working, how the nerves to that joint are working properly as well. And you've got to get those working on the muscles. I have seen so many patients with knee arthritis, and all they needed to get out of pain for a good few years was just massage on those muscles, because all the pain was coming from the muscles around the joint. And then you take some natural anti-inflammatories, omega-3s, for instance. That's often a big deficiency that causes inflammation. Some joint support supplements like glucosamine or rose hips. Turmeric is a big one. Some people, their arthritis is caused by a lack of magnesium, and they start having magnesium and they start getting better. But not everybody's the same. So while some people are having increased magnesium in a multivitamin or getting it from greens powders, which is my favorite way to really up magnesium, for some people that's not the answer. They increase fish oils and they get better, or they have mechanical work and they get better. You've got to find the cause. What says, I have OA in my thumb joint and because I now want to do joint replacement, but you don't. Yes. If you've got osteoarthritis and this inflammation's gone out of control and there's a lot of pain, you've got to do things to bring down the inflammation in there. You've got to find the actual cause for it. So, yeah, causes can be dietary. Some people, their arthritis is actually an allergic reaction to some of the foods they're eating. Common ones are an allergic reaction to the deadly nightshade family, which is potatoes, aubergines, bell peppers and tomatoes. So if you have arthritis and it's not getting better and you've tried lots of glucosamine, you're exercising, you've got a generally healthy diet full of plant materials and it's got loads of omega-3 fats in it, but if you're eating lots of potatoes, tomatoes, aubergines, bell peppers, you've got to stop those all for 3 to 4 weeks and see if you start getting better. So that's another top tip. Intermittent fasting, spore powders, greens powders for all the anti-inflammatory, anti-acid building up things, and avoiding the deadly nightshades. Those are some key things. Finding the cause and fixing it. Chasing the cause, not the pain, is the answer to arthritis. I think those are the major ones. Another good herb for osteoarthritis is something called cordyceps, and we have a drink, a red tea that's got both the Ganoderma in it and the cordyceps, so it's something that I'm very keen on for people with arthritis. Green tea is another really good thing for bringing down inflammation naturally, and again we have green tea mixed with Ganoderma, very good as well. Hello Hans, hello Mr. Tiny Tony as well. So if you have a particular arthritic problem, a specific joint, then I would find a therapist that can actually look at how things are working mechanically. If they don't do nutrition, that's okay, because you can come to me. And another good thing for arthritis I found is something called cold laser, especially in the little joints, because you can use cold laser to actually stimulate the tissue repair in a very focused way. And then there are lots of things you can use, like magnesium oil, to get more magnesium into the joint, because it's such a big deficiency, and if it's not getting transported to the area, you can just rub magnesium oil on as well. So there are more things to this. I've got more in my natural pain relief report online, so I'll put a link to that. And I'm always updating what I'm doing and finding different nutrients. CBD oil is another big one. Cannabidiol oil is something else that can cause a great deal of pain relief for people. So, and lots of different spices. Okay, Thank you for watching, everyone. And if you're in my 365, I'm going to be there doing this exact same talk in a minute. Be well.